Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Tea and Stories. So today, we're going to talk about different ways of saving. And one of my favorite ways that I've seen clients do in the past is they buy a home that they kind of like to then be able to turn around and buy the home they really like. So, the very first client I ever had, we found a home for them, and it worked for the time being, but ultimately they knew that was not the home they wanted to be in long term, but they needed somewhere to live. So what they did, they bought this cute little house, did a little bit to it, and about a year and a half later they called me and said, hey, we think we're ready to go into a different house. So we sell the house for them. We're sitting at the closing table, and they hand my client the check of what they had just made off of that house, and she starts crying. And she says, I've never seen this much money before. That was, for one, very, very heart-wrenching. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And they're able to take that money and buy the house that they really, really wanted on some land. It was a brand new build. It was a beautiful thing. And a year later, about a year after that, she calls me and says, hey, just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for helping us find this home. As she's driving through the beautiful property, beautiful land that she has now, she's driving down the road, looking at all the trees changing, and it was really beautiful. And that's a really fun way. Let's just say you're like, okay, well, I can't really afford the house I want, but there's a house that I can do now. That's a really great way to save, because that's equity that you're going to build while you're there. So that's one really fun way to say, hey, I'm going to get this house for now. It's not ultimately my goal to live in this house forever, but we're going to do that because that's a good investment. And then we're going to take that money a few years down the road, sell it or keep it, whichever you want to do, and buy the house we want. So that's another fun tip for different ways of saving, different ways to think about saving. And I hope that's helpful for you. And thank you so much again for joining me on Sweet Tea and Stories. And I believe all my tea's out. So I guess that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. See ya.